Hello everyone, welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to be fitting some Barkbuster clones from T-Rex Racing on the Versys 300. As you can see, I've already test fit one. Wanted to look like I knew what I was doing for this one. So the first step is everyone's favorite chore, which is getting the bar end weights out. Going to use a 5mm Allen socket on a 3/8 ratchet. Get it seated in the Allen key and just turn. I go in the unscrewing direction, just pull out slightly and turn the whole hand grip. It's going to make some weird crunchy metal noises, and that's just the retaining clip moving around inside the handlebar. Now you might have to do something like put your hip up against the side of the bike just so you can pull a little bit. What you're really looking to do is once you have a little bit of a gap opened up, let me get you closer so you can see. And it's really hard moving this around on a tripod. Once you get a little bit of space opened up in there, you can get a little bit of spray lubricant. Now I used to use oil, like an oil-based lube. I don't really do that too much anymore because if you're going to put something in there that requires friction, you've got to clean the oil back out. So I just use a little bit of a window cleaner. This is a spray weight just because it's what I have like close by. Just a little, doesn't take too much. Of course it's going to get all over the bike and you'll need a paper towel to get the excess off, and you'll feel it right away when this gets into the rubber bushings. It'll turn easier. And what I usually end up doing is using the paper towel for a point of friction. About the hardest part of this is just keeping some outward pressure as you spin, and it'll start to work out. The really hard part is the first bushing is a solid rubber bushing, so it doesn't want to move. Once that clears the handlebars, the whole thing will pop right out. Well, I'm going to save you looking at me sweating doing this. I'm going to get this out and then we'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, this is the really sticky part, the main bushing. It's popped out. Let's get this in frame. There we go. Anyway, once you've got that out, the whole thing just kind of slides right out. There's the bar end weight. Now we just got to get this stuff apart because for these you need the inside bar weight to put it back in the handlebars. I just popped it into the vise. I'm going to have to heat it up a little bit. There is a lot of red permanent Loctite on this bolt when they put it together at the factory, and I need to get that to loosen up. The easiest way to do it is to warm it up a little bit, just with the standard propane plumbing torch. You don't need a whole lot of heat. Just some. It'll get the Loctite to soften, and then you should be able to unscrew it. Should be pretty good. You don't want to burn the rubber because again, you're going to need that still. 14mm fits across the flats. Same 5mm ratchet we were using before. And here we go. Don't have to get it smoking hot, just some heat in it gets the thread locker to release. And it'll turn hard the whole way out just because there's that much thread locker on it. Okay, and there we go. It's out. You can see the lots of red Loctite gooped onto there, which is why these things are so much fun to take out. Now we've got this off of here. We need to straighten this clip out a little bit. We're going to need this back in the handlebars to keep this in place. It's keyed. And we're going to use this part along with the rest of the parts in the kit to put the other handguard on. As you can see here, there's a definite key shape to that. that corresponds with the shape in this piece. You want to make sure they're lined up and they don't slip out, because that's what keeps this from turning inside the handlebars should you need to tighten it or remove it or any sort of maintenance. Okay, so here's how I set this up. I'll spray the bushings down with a little bit of window cleaner. This way they'll slide in easy and it dries up and everything kind of locks in like it's supposed to be again. And you want to line the shorter tabs up with the notches in the handlebar, and this just gives you a handle to hold on to so you can work with it. Okay, so here we are all sprayed up with window cleaner. This bolts in just snug. It doesn't need to be crazy tight because it's going to be coming back out anyway. So here we go. Get this lined up so that, let's not push the bike over. And it's kind of a hard go. And there we go. It just popped in. And here we go with some more shaky cam again. But as you can see, get you to focus, that we got the keyway lined up with the retaining clip, and the shorter arms are in the notches, and the longer arms just kind of sit against the outside of the handlebar, and there's a little kind of nub that rests inside a hole right there. You should be able to see that. Alright, so to start with, what you're going to do is just going to loosely put everything together. I don't go in and firmly screw everything together or put Loctite on anything. Get it all fitted, get it kind of lined up where you want to go, and then one bolt at a time you'll put the Loctite in. Just finger snug is fine for this point. You'll see this can move a little bit and it'll drop, and hopefully it didn't scratch the plastics, but you know, that's how things go. This is one spot where I got kind of a bone to pick with these things. That hardware is just like 2 or 3 millimeters too long. Should ideally be flush, and it should all really be stainless steel, especially given what these cost. Okay, so here's where the top brackets fit on. You're gonna drop this into place. You gotta kind of slip a little bit past where the clutch switch is, and that'll rest right there. Then you've got the other part of the bracket along with the hardware that matches up with it. You're going to kind of rest that against it and just get them started by fingers. And again, just finger tight as all this stuff needs to be. Don't run anything in too tight yet, because you're going to have to fiddle around with it to get it where you'd like it to fit. Now we're going to bring this part up, and then here's the tapered head bolt that will hold this end on, which I need the correct socket for. So now that I have the correct socket or Allen key to fit this, I'm going to bring this up, and you'll have to kind of wiggle things around a little bit to get it to match up. Again, I always recommend getting stuff started a few threads by hand. Maybe we should get you in the frame a little bit better. Don't run stuff in with like electrical tools, like any kind of power tool, especially since you're going into aluminum, and that'll just end in tears. We're going to get this threaded in. Might need a tool for this to finish it off. Okay. You don't have to go crazy tight, because like I said, you're going to be taking this stuff apart again anyway. I just do the basic fitment to get everything kind of where I want it to be first, and then I'll do like final tightening where I'll take each piece of hardware out, hit it with blue Loctite and put it back in. But let's see. Take a quick look, make sure they're lined up roughly evenly, one side to the other. Make sure when you go to full lock, it's clear. We've got, you know, 1/2 inch, 13 millimeters of clearance. So everything looks pretty good. It's lined up well, fits well, brackets are all lined up. Now we're going to work on test fitting the plastic piece, and then it's the final tightening and Loctiting. So here's the plastic VPS guard that comes with this kit. You've got to drill these holes out with a 7/32 bit, which is awfully specific. A 1/4 inch is 8/32, and it works just fine. Okay, so now that we've drilled these holes, which I'm going to just go out and say that I have a lot more respect for YouTubers that work around cameras doing much more complicated stuff than this, because working around a camera is kind of a pain in the neck. But anyway, here's the hardware that holds the plastic guard on. Let's put one side down. I've replaced the stuff that comes with the kit with these stainless steel pieces, the bits of hardware that I happen to have that fit, because these things are exposed to the elements, and realistically all of this hardware should be stainless. That's another gripe I kind of have with it. It's $150-ish for the kit. They could have sprung for the extra 20 cents it would have cost to make all the hardware stainless, especially since you're dealing with it in aluminum on a bike where it's going to be outside, it's going to be in the elements. It's got a good chance of corroding in place. Alright, so here's our plastic handguard. We'll get the first piece of hardware started. Okay. Grab the second bit of hardware. Just snug these up. There we go. They're installed. So here's the essentially finished installation. All it's left to do is remove all the hardware one piece at a time, hit it with a little blue Loctite, and put it all back into place. Unfortunately, T-Rex Racing doesn't give any torque specifications with this stuff, so they have a video. It's a limited use informationally, but just don't go too crazy tightening this stuff down. It's relatively inexpensive hardware going into aluminum, and it's very easy to strip the hardware back out. Hope this helped, and enjoy.